What's up guys, it's Drac, and these are packages from Malaysia, and I am super duper stoked to open them up because they're from Monkey Mods. Now, Monkey Mods is a company that's supplying the latest and greatest in tactical kits, accessories, etc. to that entire region of the world, and they sent these all the way from Malaysia to me to make a video about. And this should be, I think, the Scar kit for the Nerf Stryfe. Now, I know that a lot of people approach these kits differently. Some people use them purely as ergonomic attachments, and some people use them for aesthetics. But frankly, I think that when a company like Monkey Mods sends you something like this completely and totally for free out of the goodness of their heart to work with and promote, it's almost insulting to just throw it on a stock blaster and say, done. So what I like to do when I do these is I like to make full-fledged primaries out of them. That's why I did like the Equinox out of the Worker kit, and when Ferrotech sent me his kit, I made Apis. And I think that that's really the only way to do it, because respectfully, like, if you're going to go out of your way to make something nice and send it to me, then all I can do in return is make something nice to show off how cool it is. So, let's go ahead and get these out of the package, and then we will, of course, build, I know, yet another Stryfe to work on them with. So, what do we use? Do we use the karambit? Nah. Let's grab the... We don't use this knife often enough. We'll use the vampire knife. And we will come in here and start slicing and dicing at these to get out all of these sweet, sweet Scar parts. And from there, we will then build a Stryfe. And I think that for this one, I am actually going to go a little bit easy because Costco is pretty soon and I'm very busy. So I think I'm going to go easy on myself and just do like a flat black Stryfe with a ton of internal goodness. So we'll do a complete internal overhaul for the Stryfe, but I will install these parts onto it so that it'll be a performance mod that just looks like an actual Scar. Because if we do black on black for the kit, we'll have something very, very tactical looking. Now, that is also very, very dangerous looking, so we won't take it out for any super duper public wars. We will just use it for private affairs. So this appears to be the front attachment. And then inside here, come on, bubble wrap. It did have to be packaged very, very safely. After all, it is coming from the other side of the world. Just a ton of worker rails. Oh my gosh. So this is like a combination kit in that it's got a lot of different stuff going on, I think. So these are some tactical rails for the side. This appears to be part of, I think, the aesthetics of the kit. This is something else. I'm going to have to decipher all of this. Maybe there are two kits in here. This is a full top rail. This actually seems to be Worker's entire top rail, which is in fact identical to the one on Equinox. Come back over. See what's inside here. So part of this is 3D printed stuff for the Scar kit, and then part of it is Worker stuff. So these are, of course, the gap fillers for the Stryfe itself, and we got to be very careful opening this one up because this appears to have some lugs in here to lock it in. And then the front piece is this the flash hider? This is a it doesn't say Worker on it, so I'm not sure if this is a Worker flash hider or not, but we will definitely use that in the build itself. And then this is more barrel material, I guess. There might be two separate kits in here. I might be a little bit confused. And then in this parcel we have, yes, translucent orange barrel material. So cool. And then I think this is the Scar stock. Certainly looks like the Scar stock. And it is. Excellent. And the Scar kit might be made by Worker as well. So huge thanks to Monkey Mods. Let's get to work. just like a fun puzzle, EOC has kind of pulled up instructions for us, and now that we've finished our stryfe and it's been completely overhauled, we have learned that we have some work to do. Apparently, this is their modular stryfe attachment, and if you flip it like this and set it right along there, you can see that that's how it's supposed to go in, which means that this entire piece is unnecessary, which means that we're dumb. So let's go ahead and start undoing what we've done so that we can redo it different. Go! Alrighty guys, so the scar is done, and it looks pretty hot. Like, I am kind of scared of how cool this looks, how close it is. Now, you could add any sort of optics that you wanted to this blaster. You can tighten and move this at will via this screw. This also has a screw that you can move this around with, but this lines up here and creates your iron sights. This is, I believe, a Magpul stock that has the worker kit printed on top of it. And hilariously, if you don't actually lock this in underneath the rail, which I didn't because I like this option, the inner barrel looks so cool that when you flop this over to the side and it locks into place there, you can see this is an injection molded stock and buffer tube with the 3D printed stuff all on top of it. This actually removes, so it's like straight up an SBR that you can convert into a full-size SCAR rifle. The metal bandolier attachment point here is actually quite nice and removable if you so chose, but it doesn't get in the way and allows you to have like perfectly comfortable ergonomics in handling. So we will return it to rifle mode so that we can straight up execute poor Teddy downrange. But once you've put the worker style PMags, or I guess this is the F10555 mags in here, this thing starts to look pretty tactical, pretty vicious. Now I'm considering an AR-15 foregrip for the front end here, but I'm looking for a good angled one. I wish I had more of the super sweet Viper foregrips like I put on Apis, but ultimately I'm not entirely sure that I can take this to a war anymore. Like, this is dangerous looking. I would not take this to any sort of war except for those that are on like private property, but we did go ahead and paint, and then we had to clear over so it doesn't have the same matte finish to lock on this Drac logo in vinyl, and we left a little bit of the orange, but definitely not enough orange, and then used a worker black buffer tube and a black flash hider because it looks really, really cool. So like, this is almost fully functional prop at this point, but it is very, very neat. I actually intend to take it on the convention circuit with me. That said, as cool as it looks and as nice as it is, we did put in a ton of time and give it top-notch internal, so it can do this as well. That is, that's all running on a graphene-style LiPo, which gives you plenty of range performance. Now, hilariously, the ranges do in fact improve in SBR mode, and it works just as efficiently that way. But I like it a lot. Building the Scar was a ton of fun, an absolute pleasure getting to work with Monkey Mods to bring this to life, so a huge thank you to them. If you'd like to check out a modification kit like this, or any other like style of real steel firearm or fantasy firearm into Stryfe or Retaliator kit, Monkey Mods has a litany of them on their website. They have very good prices and very fair shipping, even internationally. So even though a large portion of my audience is not located in or near Malaysia, I think that their shipping costs are so reasonable that it honestly makes sense to shop with them anyway. But I like this a lot. This is really, really cool. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this very realistic build. Let's try and keep it non-political in the comment section below. I know that a lot of people have very strong feelings about toys that look like this, and that's really not what this video is about. This video is about how cool it is to make something like this, not the legality or practicality of carrying it around in public, because we won't be doing that. So no worries. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. That is a Stryfe into a Scar. Drac out.